Just a little.
I am Jelly, and we are live. So you got that Henry McKenna tonight? I'm out. I'm doing the rendezvous tonight, dude.
The rendezvous.
I was.
Oh, yes. That's a good one.
Extremely conflicted on what to drink tonight because this is the lowest bottle in the bar. And as you can tell, it's getting pretty low. And like, I almost like don't want to waste it. But I'm like, that's the purpose of buying it, right?
Well, I'm only having a small amount of Henry tonight. Look at this. Look at all I got left here.
Oh, that's depressing. You're going to have to buy some more. I need to buy some more. I'm actually going to buy it from the place I bought it for you from because I found out it's cheaper than the liquor store.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
By like $15.
And you don't have to go and get it. You just have it delivered.
Yeah, exactly. So that's great. Yeah, so I didn't really do an audio check, but I kind of used Andrew to test the audio earlier. So, yeah, it looks good. So, first thing we should say is Andrew Katz said hard apple cider for Biden. I don't know what that means.
I like the rhyme.
But it'll
be a good time.
I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about the election at some point, or lack thereof, I should say. So, first, next week, the podcast will be starting 1 hour later. It will be starting at 9:30 Eastern because we have a guest. And, well, on the Pacific Coast time, they still are working at this time. Except for Justin, because he's lazy. So, there's that.
Never working.
No, yeah,
I don't spend all day in this goddamn chair.
No, we're having Lawrence on the podcast, which I'm excited about. That'll be fun.
That'll be a good talk.
We have a couple of guests lined up. We have Lawrence. We got Bennett lined up for.
I'm excited for that.
2 weeks out.
That'll be fantastic.
Tried to get Seth on the podcast, but he said no.
Yeah.
No, not so much his thing to talk live on the internet while drinking. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, we'll be banned from the internet pretty soon.
I was like, no, seriously. It's not a big deal if you tell me that's not your thing to drink on live internet feeds. I get it. That's kind of weird. I don't know why we do it. It's not close enough to the mic.
And then talk finance.
So you gotta get a good mic here.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
You just need to get a better mic.
It doesn't sound like Henry McKenna, I'll tell you that.
Everyone that wants Justin to get a better mic, go ahead and just pop that right in the chat right now. And
I'll use code ANDU227 on Yada Bank.
Hey, I got my first sign up on BlockFi today. Referral.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Who signed up?
It was Andu227.
Who do we know that signed up?
See, our viewers say get a better mic.
God dang it, those viewer.
Yeah,
what do you say? Why do you say it as plural?
Because it said 3 concurrent viewers.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Shit, sorry.
There were viewers. It's not just
viewer. There are.
Yeah, he withdrew everything from Yada. He realized the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, as they say.
I think I'm gonna try BlockFi once I have a little bit of money saved up to put in there.
Yeah, just Trobrock.com/BlockFi, and video is dropping on it a week from tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Yes, and I got the Black Friday video all lined up and ready to go. I'm excited about that.
Sure to buy those things. Which thumbnail did you end up going with?
I went with the one that I've been told looks like a censored boob and a dick.
Nice.
So
those will definitely get some clicks.
To be fair, I think there were a couple of honest reviews in there, and then there was a bit more of a non-honest review. No, I think that works better. Like I was going for I don't want to dig too deep into this because we talk about YouTube too much lately. Is like the mystery, like the fact that you guys both said it made me curious. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And then the title will explain what you should be curious about, and then you'll click. That's the goal.
I'm almost thinking I might try and just do very suspect blurry thumbnails for all my videos now. Just to try it.
And also, I've done a blurry thumbnail before. This one looks nowhere near as bad as the last one. No, really. Look at my It's like my things I carry every day video. Here, let me see.
Oh no.
Let me see if I can find it here. I have a new computer, so I can actually do stuff while I'm on this podcast, but don't play audio because that would come out of the feed. So that was close. It was very close. If we find and Andrew pointed this out after. Yeah, there it is. let me just copy this link.
Is there a way to share the screen on this? Would that be too much?
Is there a way to share the screen? There is a way. Do you want me to set that up real quick?
I mean, I think it'd be nice if we could share screens during this.
Wait, actually, you know what? I think what I can do is let me try this. Let me share a Chrome tab. Because your face is up here, I can just replace your face with this. Like, no one wants to see you anyways. Oh my God. Oh, sorry about that.
No one wants to look at that.
Sorry about that, everyone. I chose the wrong Chrome tab. Yeah, no, that's not going to work.
Wow, we really saw everything.
I'll set this up at some point, but the video is called My Ultimate Hack for Consistently Waking Up at 5 a.m. And it actually looks like I'm holding a dildo.
Did you say wanking up at 5 a.m.?
Yeah, that's what I said. Wanking up at 5 a.m. Yep. No, so this one doesn't look
tonight's going to go great.
It's going really well so far. Really well. Very, very productive conversation going on right now.
Yeah. Let's talk finance. What do we have on the finance schedule?
I have, I got the new Pixel Buds, which I didn't think I would use very much because I don't use headphones on my phone very often. But I'm like, why not? They're cool, and I'm tired of plugging the adapter in when I do need to use them. It turns out I use them all the time. One of the things I'm using them for now is listening to podcasts around the house. So every time I've gone up to cook today, I've listened to podcasts. Tim Ferriss podcast with Mr. Money Mustache. If you haven't listened to that one yet, you definitely should. It's very good. One of the things that they said in there today that I thought was an interesting statement, and I'm curious your thoughts on it, and thought it could be a good discussion topic. If you can't afford to lose it, you can't afford to buy it. He was talking about this in reference to someone having stole his bike once, and then he went through basically the whole financial analysis of locking up his bike and broke it down into how much time he'd be spending locking up his bike and worrying about it and all that stuff. And it wasn't worth it to him financially to lock up his bike. And then they said that statement, and I thought that was a very interesting thought. And I think, I don't know. I thought it was very interesting.
That is fascinating. And I jive with that.
Yeah.
I've never used that phrase before, but I jive with that. And the example, I think I'm going to use it 2 or 3 more times.
Okay, good.
Specific podcast.
Should have a jive counter.
It's a drinking word. Every time I say jive, Trey has to drink. I won't overdo it. I was saying that I agree with that because, for example, I want to relate everything to cars. I wouldn't buy a car if I couldn't afford to, well, maybe not lose it, but have something. I don't want to just. I have heard stories of people parking cars in garages and then not being able to find them. But I would maybe it gets stolen, or maybe I wreck it at the racetrack or something like that. Granted, I have insurance for those things, but maybe, or a better example would be I'm not going to finance a car that I couldn't pay off immediately if I.
Yeah, and I think the point that I think we're trying to get to was buying something that is something you can't afford to lose is going to add all this stress and anxiety around holding on to it. That's not worth it and doesn't result in any happiness of any sort. And the same thing with your car, right? You buy a car. If it gets stolen, you're going to be sad, but you're not going to sit around all night sitting there going, oh, God, I hope no one steals my car tonight because I really just can't afford that.
Yeah.
I hope no one steals my car, unless you live in Oakland or something, maybe. No offense.
Well, that's funny because Lo lives in Oakland.
Oh, cool. So we'll get to ask him if he sits up all night thinking about his car being stolen.
Well, no, he's had his cars broken into before, and and all that stuff. But I think what you were saying was, what I heard was, you can spend this time once you get that thing that you really want, and it flips from being able to enjoy that thing that you've always wanted to worrying about losing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like then it
Yep.
just takes all the joy out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was very interesting listening to him, Mr. Money Mustache, talk because, he's such a big inspiration for people like Andre Gique and Graham Stephan who are like massively frugal, overly frugal, in my opinion, to each their own. But for me, it's overly frugal. Yeah. Mr. Money Mustache is actually not like that, and I did not expect that. That surprised me because I haven't consumed much of his content. I watched one video that led to me getting rid of my entire emergency fund. But other than that, I haven't consumed too much because most of it is in blog post form, and I'm just not a blog reader for the most part. So it surprised me when he talked about his spending. He actually doesn't really control his spending other than two mechanisms. So one, the thing that he spends money on just has to like make him happy. And like, the happiness that, Gary Vee and all that talks about, like actual happiness, not like happy because someone's going to look at you differently now,
Oh, yeah.
Actual happy. And then the other thing that he mentioned was the ability to improve the world in some way, and like the energy crisis that he talks about and a lot of that stuff. So that restricts some of his spending too. But for the most part, it's just like he only buys stuff that makes him happy, but he'll buy anything that makes him happy. And I think that's a very good rule to live by, and one that I kind of try to hold myself to as well. Like, I don't mind spending a ton of money as long as it makes us happy. What I don't want to do is spend money on things that don't make me happy. He was a software engineer. I guess is a software engineer. I guess, sort of. Like maybe he doesn't actually software engineer now, but do you ever stop becoming what you were? Existential question here.
I think I will eventually stop being a marketer.
I think because of that, he spends a lot of time thinking about efficiency, and that's really what he said.
Oh.
His like spending less was an efficiency thing, and that's what I feel like on our budget. Like anytime we're spending money on something that doesn't make us happy, it's like it feels inefficient. Andrew said something. Yeah, Andrew was just saying he does the same thing with our RC cars. He buys a ridiculous amount of RC cars. Like, dude's got a problem. Legitimately, he's got a problem. Hope he's not watching this right now, but he's got a problem.
Yeah, let's use this hour to talk shit about Andrew, since he for sure doesn't watch these.
No, but he actually brought up a good point there once I finished reading the statement. And I think this is something that I've definitely been guilty of in the past, and something that I try to do better at. He agrees it's a serious problem. He says if he babies it, it's not worth having it. And I've definitely fallen into this before too. I was like this with my camera, my GH4 at first, where it's like, it's an expensive thing, and you're like, oh, I like got to do all this stuff it kind of like ruins the experience. It makes it a lot of work just to like keep it in good condition. But who cares?
I jive with what Andrew said. I drive with that same way with my cars. Like I drive the shit out of my cars. Yeah. Cars are meant to be driven. And I will not have one garage queen.
It's actually something that I thought about a lot when I was buying my new pocket knife, of all things. I could not buy a $100 pocket knife because I knew that I would treat that pocket knife differently than I treat I think this one's like $40. This $30 or $40 pocket knife. Because you get like stupid nicks, and you won't even be able to see that on camera, but this blade is all like, yeah, you can't see that at all. There's like a gash in it because I was using it to cut the paint on some windows that our painters painted shut. But like, I wouldn't have done that on a $150 Benchmade knife. No matter how nice the knife is, I wouldn't have used it for all of its proper, the reason I carry a pocket knife is to use it on everything.
Right. You buy something to use it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's something I've fallen into a lot in the past is I buy something and it's expensive, and then I don't actually use it for its full potential because I'm like trying to keep it good for some stupid reason. It's like if you're not using it just to sell it later in good condition, why don't you just sell it now?
Yeah. I mean, some people will do it. Some people will hold on to flip it eventually, but
well, that's different. That's an investment.
Okay, hold on.
I view that differently. What?
Here's what I'm breaking into next, since you're not coming out to California anytime soon.
I wish, dude. I want to go on vacation so bad. You have to tell me how it is.
Yeah, don't worry.
So for anyone that doesn't know, that's a bottle of whiskey that I told him about because he is close to that distiller and I cannot get it outside of California. So he picked me up a bottle. Now he's going to open it and drink it in front of my face.
Yeah, I tried to ship it, but apparently you just can't just ship bottles of alcohol very
Apparently
easily.
That's hard. If anyone, anyone watching knows how to ship liquor from California to Connecticut, let us know.
Just kidding.
That was going to be really upsetting. It's already upsetting enough that you don't have the proper whiskey glasses.
I mean, the shameful thing is that I'm chasing McKenna with this, and I feel like this just isn't going to live up. You just sitting there counting money.
Yeah, just seeing how many hundreds I have on my desk. Sometimes I like to. Sometimes I like to just count my money and like be able to see it in full. I don't know if people know how rich we've been getting on this podcast, but like, look at this money. It's just like stacks. It's just stacked.
How much did that money cost you?
Well, this is $10,000, and by following some guy in Graham Stephan's YouTube comments, he was able to turn $15 into $10,000. It was crazy.
Is this a Forex trader?
Yeah, it's a Forex trader. Yeah. So like you just contact him on WhatsApp. It's not WhatsApp. It's weird. It's like WAT app. And then you just transfer them $15 and they give you, they literally mail you a stack of $10,000.
Okay, I'm actually really not a fan of this.
Everyone, this is just play money. It's a prop. You'll see it in the thumbnail soon.
Yeah, use Trey's affiliate link to buy that stack of money. Link in the description.
There probably won't be a link in the description because I probably won't remember to do it. But well.
I think it's
use all of my other links.
I think I need to try this separately because
what is it? A bourbon?
The McKenna. Looks like single malt whiskey.
Oh, it's a single malt. Oh, that's a weird one to follow a bourbon.
Yeah. It's a little. I need to try it separately. It did not go well after a bourbon.
Yeah. Yeah, you can swap over bourbon and rye tonight, but Scotch, it's either Scotch or American whiskey. That's why they have an E and not an E, to clarify that you shouldn't have it in the same sitting.
They have a what and a what?
American whiskey is WHISKEY. Scotch whiskey is WHISKY.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah.
I thought we just wanted to add a vowel for more printing costs.
I mean, we probably did, but I like to say that it's because you shouldn't mix them.
I totally agree.
So I've never had a good experience drinking Scotch and then drinking a bourbon or a rye or vice versa. That's rough.
I think I'm going to go back to the McKenna after this.
Yeah,
glad I poured a small.
Good call.
Small one.
Pour it back in the bottle.
Nah, I'm just going to drink it.
Okay. Good call. All right. Other finance stuff. So we talked about that. That was good. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting topic. The whole podcast with Mr. Money Mustache was pretty good. BlockFi, did a lot of research on that. That worked out pretty well. I was able to transfer my money back out, so it's not a scam. Oh, actually, I was doing some more research today when I was doing keyword research from a video. It's a very legitimate company. Peter Thiel invested in the Series B.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Their CEO was on CNBC, and I watched the interview with him. They're basically trying to provide like like traditional banking services to the crypto space.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So like it's actually pretty legitimate. Yeah. So I'm like, put all the money in.
Now, I'm probably going to put some money in probably early next year, I'm guessing.
Yeah, like I think I have $11,000 outstanding on my, maybe 9,000, something like that, outstanding on my M1 Finance borrow line. But I'm like, why pay it back? Just put it into BlockFi.
It's true. If you have a 2% rate
Right. I'm still making
versus an
6% on that
8%.
money.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I could literally withdraw from that account enough money to pay the bill on M1 Finance every month and still be profiting.
Cash flow tricks.
It's stupid. Like really a big part of me wants to tap my entire M1 borrow line and put it over there. I think about it every day. I really do.
And now you know you can withdraw if you had to.
Right. Right, and luckily I tested that last month, so I get my one free withdrawal still.
Yeah.
But even still,
Didn't
it
we
only
try
costs
that after
25
this
cents.
podcast?
Yeah, we did after the podcast last week. So we've been starting to get more guests on. I've been compiling a list of people, of dream guests, as I call them. Have you seen that list?
I know we talked about it this week. I have not seen the entire list, though.
It's quite the list at this point. Okay, so here's the thing that I think is really cool about our financial illiterates and the format. I think the format's got an upside and a downside, right? The downside is it's long, so it's a big time commitment. The other downside is we drink a lot. So if you're not a drinker or comfortable in that situation, it might not be the podcast for you to be on. But the upside is it's very non-focused, right? Like the financial illiterates is a conversation generally revolving around finance with pretty much anyone in the world, right? So like I got Peter McKinnon on there, Chris Howe, Cody Warner, Meet Kevin, Graham Stephan, Andre Giek. Who else do I got on there? Like I want to get some of these people on the podcast. Cody, I feel like is like the person I could maybe actually pull off in a shorter time frame.
Yeah.
The challenge is the hour. That's the one that prevents me from reaching out to him and just asking, even though I know I probably just should.
What do you mean by the hour?
That is an hour-long podcast, typically.
You're saying like the hour-long commitment.
Yeah, exactly.
A barrier.
Especially for a channel of our size, right? We have 22 subscribers.
Yeah. No, 22. That's not bad. I'll take that.
Even if you summed up all three of our channels, we're at like 1,200 subscribers. So, but...
Can you monetize? Can we monetize that way? Where you just sum the subscribers across.
Can you count all of our channels though?
And then just monetize one of them. Just monetize yours.
That would be amazing. No, on the monetization standpoint, both of us have been trying alternative methods of monetization lately. Been really focusing a lot on figuring out how to work in like affiliate type monetization into my content lately.
Yeah.
And like previously, we talked about this earlier, but I think it's interesting topic for this format. You got to take off in like 6 minutes, don't you?
No.
Oh.
7 p.m. my time.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
I thought we only had a 30-minute podcast today.
No, are you guys still 3 hours ahead?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're always 3 hours ahead. We're not one of those weird places like Indiana or Arizona that is like, we don't like to change time.
I don't know. I kind of jive with Arizona. I'd rather just not change
I mean,
time.
I would too, but when everyone else is doing it, you either get everyone else to stop doing it or you do it with them. That was a weird statement. What was I saying?
Yeah, what was that?
So when I first tried to do affiliate type stuff really early on my YouTube channel, actually one of my most viewed videos was an attempt at affiliate marketing for these headphones. But the problem was the video was designed for affiliate marketing. Not the video was created and then I wove affiliate marketing into it, which is what I'm trying to do now. Right? Like headphone reviews is like as random as my channel was at the time, it still didn't fit. It's gotten a lot of search traffic and a lot of views, but I've sold 0 headphones from it. So like didn't really work. Whereas like the more recent stuff is like we were doing with your video today, I come up with the content and I put it all together and then I look at it and I say where makes sense to inject like a tool that can solve that problem, or I've already talked about the tool and I just need to make sure I put the link in there.
Yeah.
So it's like the video has value and then I'm trying to get monetary value just from that directly.
Yep.
Before I'm monetized, because that's
it's like
longer.
And it's like a win-win scenario too.
Yeah.
Where you're solving that person's problem with whatever product or service you are suggesting, but then they're basically giving you a little bit of that percentage of the sale back.
Yeah, exactly. And all of those links are down in the description if you'd like to check them out. We have my M1 Finance growth portfolio, which I'm actually surprised I never got any signups from that. I've done like 2 or 3 videos on that now, and I've never gotten any signups through it, which I don't know. It kind of surprises me a little bit, but
I say keep doing it. You need one of those M1 Finance videos to like pop off, you know?
Yeah, the M1 Finance doesn't get near as much search traffic as the Ally Bank. I wish Ally Bank had a referral program. That'd be amazing.
What if you Trojan horsed some keywords around investment tools that do get a lot of traffic?
Yeah.
Like maybe Wealthfront or TD Ameritrade.
The problem is Wealthfront and Betterment's referral plan sucks for me. It's great for people that sign up. It sucks for me.
Oh no, what I'm saying is not use their referral program, but say like, maybe this is a real clickbaity, but here's the one thing that I would use over Wealthfront.
Oh, yeah.
So when people search Wealthfront, they'll land on the video, and then you'll be like, M1 Finance.
At a certain point, it's like, I don't want to just do like bank and investment broker reviews, you know? And like I've done a lot of that already. I'll probably do like one for each of the bank or investment profiles that I use annually. You know, like I'll do an Ally Bank 2021 and M1 Finance 2021, but like that content's really not interesting to me. Like I think it's useful to people, but it's really not interesting to do for the most part, especially when you really like it. Like the Ally Invest I thought was more interesting to do because I didn't like all of it. Like my most recent Ally Bank 2020 review was like, these are the things I like about it that were different from the last time I talked about it, and I don't dislike anything. It's like, I don't know. It's not very interesting. I'm way more interested in like how to earn 8.6% on your money with BlockFi, right? I think that's really interesting. Not something people are talking about a whole lot outside of the crypto space. And then like, what are the top 5 things I learned starting a multi-million-dollar company? That I think is exciting and interesting for me to put together and interesting content for people to watch.
I think that's a winner.
So we'll see. I mean, I'll have to get that one in the right keywords. I think that'll be the tricky part, is getting that to show up places. But it's evergreen content that people can find through my other content. So that's the way I look at it. And then like I'm excited to do the why Nate O'Brien is wrong about cash flow video. That'll be a good one to talk about. I really want to talk about cash flow. Like the main point of the video is cash flow focused investing versus appreciation focused investing, which is a shift that you and I had made through the last like 2 years as we're starting to think about real estate investing. We were heavy focused on cash flow because cash flow is king, right?
It's king, apparently.
What we learned is that actually the faster way to grow wealth is through appreciation investing. And you know, he was basically saying that you should invest for cash flow, and I don't think that that's necessarily right for most people. I think it's right at a certain point. At the point at which you want to live off of your investments, that's when you should be investing for cash flow. Shy of that, you should be investing for appreciation because you're going to get a lot faster growth that way.
Yeah, it's another tool to build wealth
Sorry
and
about that,
potentially
guys.
a
I
more
just had a
practical tool.
calendar invite go off and everyone got to hear that. So my bad. I'll
I was
figure
like,
out how
because
to
it,
turn that off one day.
it goes off at the same time every podcast.
It does, yeah. And apparently, even if I have my phone flipped over and do not disturb, it goes off on my phone too. So it's my event that tells me to go to bed. I ignore it every
Really?
Wednesday.
Oh, do you
Yeah,
really? Do you really go to bed at this time every day?
I try to go to bed by 9:15 every night.
Pretty good.
If I can get to bed by 9:15, I can get up at 4:15, which I haven't been doing for basically since we were in the RV. That habit fell apart in the RV. But I want to get back to it, so I've been trying to push my bedtime a little bit earlier. It's a challenge because it's like a balance because like Kimmy's not home yet, and she's not home yet almost every single night. So if I go to bed at a time that wakes me up at 4:15, then I go to bed before she gets home pretty much every night, and then I wake up before anyone's awake. So it's a balance.
You
It's
have
a
an
it's a
opportunity.
balance.
It's a balance.
It's a balance. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But yeah, we were talking about other ways to monetize the channel. We've been doing affiliate links. Is there anything else that you've been looking at or trying for
no, I mean
monetizing the channel?
there's things that I think are interesting, like brand deals and things like that. It's just like it's a lot of work to get them. I don't think a channel of my size is gonna like really pull that off much. And like affiliate links are easy, very easy.
Yeah.
So I've been spending a decent amount of time setting up my website, getting affiliate links easy to manage, all of that sort of stuff, and just like starting to weave that into the content. But for the most part, I'm trying, like on a financial side in my life, what I'm trying to figure out is, well, on the YouTube side, I'm just trying to release 2 a week, just like keep that going. Back to like we had this exciting 2 weeks. Now it's back to just heads down, make good content, release it Monday and Wednesday, 2:45 p.m. Eastern, and just keep doing that until something kicks off again. And that's where I'm back at with the YouTube thing. Try and monetize from affiliate marketing, but I'm not going to be let down if I don't get anything. And then on the personal side, I'm trying to figure out how do I say this in a public forum, a mechanism to fund our living expenses that's alternative to what we're doing today. Could be supplemental, but it'll probably be alternative. Who am I
Yeah.
kidding? No one's watching this. I'm trying to find a job that'll keep my hours at the right amount. What's the worst thing that happens? They fire me. Problem solved.
I mean, it's on the internet.
I'm trying to find something that will keep me working about the same number of hours I work now, which is not a full day, and will pay exactly our expenses. And then any extra money I want to get so that I can invest in all of that stuff will be through contracting gigs and other businesses and things like that. But something that will make it so that I don't have the stress hanging over my head that my current position brings.
Right. The commitments and responsibility and expectations of a day
Exactly.
job.
Yeah. The meetings are the biggest challenge. Like today, on Wednesdays every 2 weeks, I sit in a 3-hour meeting.
It's a long meeting.
Yeah. We don't normally
How many
accomplish
people?
anything.
How many people are in that meeting?
6 to 8.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
So that's that's almost like a 24-hour meeting.
Yeah. No, I've calculated how much we spend as a company on those meetings, and it's a lot of money, especially given that they don't really do much in terms of output. So, but like that sort of stuff is pressure, and like the number of hours I work is disconnected from the number of hours that I'm expected to work. Granted, I produce what I'm expected to produce. And like the stress of like someone finding out, now that I'm putting this on a public podcast, that's probably smart.
Yeah.
Is like, it's a lot to deal with, So
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure that out right now. It would mean that I would basically cut, like right now I save about 55% of my income towards investments. It would basically mean cutting that down to 5 to 10%, I think. So big hit there, but
Huge, yeah.
it frees me up a lot to focus on anything I want to focus on.
But presumably it's temporary. And then if you are able to focus more on these things that you
Right.
think will offer a bigger return, then it's
Yeah,
kind of just like an investment.
that's the ultimate goal is to get real estate's going to be a long time before we can replace our income with that. But one of these other software businesses or the YouTube thing, one of those things or a multitude of those things replacing the income. That's I think my goal over the next 3 years or so.
It's a good goal.
YouTube,
I think
ideally.
realistic too.
Making these YouTube videos has just been massively fun lately.
Creating content is fun. I think we both really enjoy that process.
I don't think I really enjoyed the YouTube side of it as much until very recently. Like I enjoyed making content and I enjoyed like teaching finance, but I don't think I enjoyed the like game of YouTube until very recently. Like YouTube was just a place I put the content that could maybe turn into something, and now like I think I see the game of YouTube a little bit more, and I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty fun.
It's kind of a fun game.
Yeah, I jive with that.
Yeah, Henry. I gotta stick with Henry if I start with Henry.
You don't have to stick with
least a
Henry,
bourbon.
but don't switch to a Scotch.
Yeah.
Technically, it's not a Scotch; it's a single malt. So don't
it's single
roast
malt.
me.
I will say after like the third or fourth sip, the bourbon taste kind of went away, or then
Yeah.
it was just the single malt. It was good, but I got to start with that. I got to do it separately.
Yeah. Okay. Well, next week we can start you off with that. I'm very jealous of that McKenna. This High West Rendezvous is very good, but I love that McKenna. Did you just kiss the bottle? And do you keep
Henry.
the tag on the stem? Get rid of that.
I do.
It's weird.
I do.
It's weird.
It sometimes it'll drip a little bit, and the tag, the little thing will soak it up for me, so it doesn't drip all the way down the bottle.
Okay. There went all of the viewers. They're all gone.
They were all Henry
Says we
McKenna
still have
viewers.
a current viewer. I don't believe it though. I don't believe it. All right. What other finance things are going on in your life? We talked about my life, and we talked enough about my life so that I could get sufficiently fired tomorrow. So, what's going on in your life?
This has been a week of the focus of the week has been discipline.
Discipline. Explain.
Discipline, yeah. I was going through my old journals so I try and write a little bit every day, either in the morning or at night or both. About kind of what I want to do that day or how the day went, my mood, what I did. And there was a period last year where I felt like I was really in the zone. And in the zone meaning I felt like I was on top of my goals and the things that I wanted to do. And what I noticed after going through those notes was that I had a lot more focus and I had a lot more discipline. Discipline in the sense that, I got up at a reasonable time, and whether I was in the mood for it or not, I did these certain things every day. And when I did those things every day, the day always turned out to be a reasonably good day. I just felt like I could manage the things that were coming at me.
Yeah.
And it was like just very simple things. The things that kind of push me forward are like I'll meditate, either journal and or review goals, and then exercise. Usually those are like the three foundations for me every day, at least every weekday, that kind of helps set the stage for me to either juggle things with work or other projects, as well as just help keep me focused.
I feel you. I've been on this summer really like threw a lot off. Moving into the house threw a lot off, and then the summer living in the RV threw even more off. And I've been trying to like get back in a similar groove as you. Like for me, waking up early is a big one. I finally got back to the point where pretty much every day I'm waking up at 5:15. I want to start pushing that back a little bit more, back to 4:15 again. But 5:15 has been working pretty well. I haven't been reading. I want to get back into reading in the mornings, which is gonna push me to 4:15 also, because if I wake up at 5:15 and then spend 30 minutes to an hour reading, then I feel like I don't have enough time to get shit done before people wake up. So 4:15 works well for that, because then I get an hour of reading and then an hour of normal time.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm trying. One thing I really want to do, I've done it off and on, but not like consistent. I keep slipping out of it. Is just eating well. The Whole Foods diet is just like, it feels good. But lately I've been not like letting myself take the time to cook. And when you don't take the time to cook, Whole Foods diet's pretty damn hard. Like, you're just eating fruit and nuts at that point, and you can only eat so many of those, and nuts are expensive, dude. Like, a package of almonds is crazy expensive.
Those are expensive nuts.
Even if you buy the crappy nuts, like those nuts, like, they're just expensive.
Shitty nuts are the worst. You don't want shitty nuts.
Anywho, so trying to eat better. I'm trying to work out. That's got a little bit of tricks to it. I did work out once this week, so I was happy with that. I'm trying to do 3 a week, but the gym is in the garage, and it's starting to get cold here. I need to figure out a heating solution.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cold. Like, I mean, the day that I worked out, it was like 45 out. It was
shit.
warmer than that in the garage, and because I didn't open the garage door. But we have so much stuff in the garage right now to do, like things like squats. I have to move the bench, which means I have to open the garage door to move other stuff out. So it would be really cold. I need to get some sort of heater in there. So I need to get that figured out, because that's definitely a blocker to it a bit. But it felt good. I think the other thing that's going to help a lot, I was chewing on this a little bit today, is a lot of times I don't want to work out, because I have my schedule to work out from like basically like 3 to 3:45, because on Mondays and Fridays I have to pick Luke up from the bus at like 3:50ish. So it's like kind of tied to that. But a lot of days lately I haven't wanted to do it, because I have so much stuff that I feel like I need to get done. And what I found was on Monday, I actually didn't feel that way. I felt like I was kind of in a lull of the day, where I was like starting to like poke around YouTube, and I'm like, oh, like kind of don't want to start something right now. And what I think happened there was, here's another reason to get fired, is I didn't spend as much time on my day job, and I got a lot more done on all of the other things that I want to be spending time on. And when I'm working on that stuff, like, it drains me a lot more than sitting in a 3-hour meeting talking about nothing, you know? So
Right.
I think if I can get to the place where I'm working on the stuff I want to be working on all day, I will be more exhausted earlier, which will lead me to being okay spending an hour working out.
Yeah, working out can be a game changer. I mean, that's like, I think that was a foundational piece for me. If I can even do 30 minutes every weekday, which is what I'm tracking to this week.
Mm-hmm.
I did 30 minutes Monday, an hour yesterday, 30 minutes today. And then right now I'm set up to do 30 minutes tomorrow and Friday. Like, it just seems like a foundational piece for my day, because it also helps kind of clear my mind or reset things, especially if I work out in the afternoon.
Yeah, I don't think working out has as big of a mental or emotional impact as it does on you. Waking up early is my drug. What I found actually is, on Saturdays and Sundays, if I don't wake up early and get some work done, I am in a bad mood most Saturdays and Sundays. And what I don't like feeling like I'm not making progress on the things I want to make progress on. That's actually why I was able to like cook some today, because I used my Pixel Buds and listened to a podcast, and I felt like I was being productive at the same time. That's what waking up early in the morning on Saturday and Sunday does, is it gives me a couple of hours where I was able to make progress, and then I can be more okay with the rest of the day where we don't get anything done on anything.
You're happy when you make progress.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. It's something that's kind of hard to describe to people. Most people like they basically live for the weekend, like Saturday and Sunday are their favorite days ever, and I truly do not like Saturdays and Sundays. Really don't. Like the fact that it's Wednesday right now bums me out because I'm more than halfway through the week.
I saw a quote this week that I really jived with, and it was along the lines of, people will like go out and party on weekends to essentially escape the life that they have during the week.
Right. Yep.
But I mean, flip that, and I think sounded really good. I think it'd be better if you, instead of spending time escaping the life that you had, spend that time building the life that you want.
Yes. That. And I feel like on the weekends, like I love spending time with my family, but I'd rather spend time with my family doing something that I feel like is productive. Like on the week, like there's weekends in the past that I've like built something or worked on a project on the house or something like that, and like Jake helps me out, Luke helps me out. That, like, I love that. But like the weekends where we're like going to a pumpkin patch to go through a corn maze, it's like I just spent how much money to walk through a cornfield? I grew up in cornfields. Like we could just drive to Indiana and I could walk through a cornfield. It's like,
yeah, but that's not so much for you. That's for the kids. That's like your
I know
commitment
it is.
and,
Yeah,
and
that's why I have to have the morning.
Yeah,
I got to have the one for me.
It's like everybody has like this foundational thing that they can do every day to help better themselves. Like mine might be working out. Yours is just getting up early to give yourself the time and space to work on those things.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think it's really important to have those things. And there's Atomic Habits. If anyone listening has not read Atomic Habits, that book might be one of the best books I've ever read. If for nothing else, the concept of, what does he call it? The like chaining habits together. He's got a better word for it.
Yeah. Yep.
But the concept of like chaining habits together, like, what's a good example? I mean, like working out and tying that to picking up Luke from the bus, for example. Yeah. Like being able to find those things that tie it together. Like reading, for example, was a good one for me until I misplaced my Kindle. I think it's somewhere over there and all that. I took it backpacking with me, and that's when my reading habit died. Like you can see it on my graph. Is like it died when I took it backpacking with me because all my backpacking stuff is still not quite finished unpacking over here. And it's somewhere over there, and I need to find it. But reading is tied to my wake up early habit. So if I don't wake up early, I don't read. And then the whole day is just like crap.
Yep.
But that book was really good. I was surprised.
I listened to that one.
Yeah.
That one was good.
If
anything, it helped. Like it gave me a few things to work on going forward. But if anything, it kind of helped me. It gave me names to things that we were already doing.
Yeah. I feel like that's actually a lot of the books lately I've been reading have more just been like solidifying and clarifying things I already thought and have been doing, which is nice because it's like you said, validation. It's like, oh, you're going in the right direction, and it almost feels good that you came up with it through like other means.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times I wouldn't necessarily like believe them unless I did come up with it through other means, but yeah, that was a good book. I don't know if I have anything else really like finance related to talk about this week. We're at 50 minutes now, so probably a good time to just start wrapping it up.
Wrap it up.
You jive with that, so
God
there's that.
Damn it. You just like randomly work it. It's gotta be. It's gotta be natural.
Extremely.
It felt a little forced.
That was. I mean, I won't say it. So that's it for tonight. That was the Financial Illiterates. That's Illiterates, because Justin didn't think I could do that by the end of the podcast, but I still can.
Oh, remember next week, 1 hour later.
Yes, 1 hour later,
If you made it this far.
9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, with our guest Lawrence, who's now working at Tesla. So that'll be fun to hear all the things that he can't say about Tesla.
He's doing some really cool stuff at Tesla that he can't talk about.
Yeah, that'll be fun to ask him the questions, though. Just berate him with questions. The whole thing will just be questions about Tesla.
It'll be like, I plead the fifth.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna start having more guests, and if you're interested in joining, again, for anyone that's actually still here, which is no one, let us know, because we're open to having pretty much anyone on the podcast that is interested in coming on the podcast. And if this is interesting in any way, entertainment or educational wise, I would really appreciate it if you guys would share this. We're trying to grow this channel. It's a lot more organic growth than any of our other channels, but we would still appreciate the share. And as always, Twitter at Trobrock or Gustin Jabriel. And
Gustin.
We'll see you sometime maybe after the new president has been decided. Or not.
Eventually.
Yeah. So.
Eventually.
This is my YouTube video. I don't have to sign out. This is how I sign out. I'm like, see you guys. Okay, but bye-bye.